Bryan Callen has quit the Fighter and the Kid podcast with Brendan Schaub to join Steven Crowder. So I saw the announcement last night when Dave Landau announced that he was leaving Louder with Crowder as they go to Rumble. And then Crowder dropped a commercial and he hired Bryan Callen, Jim Brewer, and Nick DiPaolo. Now, I know Brewer and Nick DiPaolo are going to be doing their own shows. However, I believe Bryan Callen was hired to replace Dave Landau. Now, I was trying to think, is there a way Callen could do both? And the answer is no. You have to remember, Crowder is in Texas. He's going to need Callen in studio daily to be his co-host. And with Callen's stand-up, he's not going to be able to have time to do a podcast with Brendan Schaub. So, an amazingly smart move by Callen. It was the best move you could make. Look, the Fighter and the Kid, the podcast is dead. Boppa's career is over. He can't sell any tickets. Now, Callen is going to see a huge increase in tickets and probably a lot more money because he's working with a far more successful show. By the way, let me assure you, he is quitting that podcast and going to be permanently with Crowder because remember, 2 months before Dave Landau left Cumia, remember Dave Landau was Anthony Cumia's co-host, I made a video that Dave Landau was going to quit Compound Media and sign with Louder with Crowder. Everybody in the comments section on that video called me nuts. They called me insane. 2 months later, he did it. So, yeah, so he officially quit the Fighter and the Kid podcast. I don't care what they say. If he tries to work it, yeah, I'll still come in and still do this podcast. No, he won't. This is a permanent change. So now that Callen is going to be Crowder's new co-host, how is that going to work? Is that going to make the show better? I will say Landau did do a good job as the co-host, but what's it going to be like with Callen there now? And wasn't Callen like a huge lefty? Although Landau was sort of a huge lefty and kind of worked with Crowder. But an amazing business move. My God, everybody is just fleeing Boppa. Now all he has left is Chris D'Elia and Eric Grant. I mean, wow. When Rinks has to go too. Although, to be fair to Bryan Callen, it's not as if he just quit the Fighter and the Kid podcast. He quit it for a way bigger opportunity. So Schaub can't even really complain about this move. I mean, hell, if Steven Crowder offered this to Schaub, he would have took it. I mean, Crowder was just offered $50 million by the Daily Wire. You know, that whole thing where he leaked that term sheet. And it was like, going forward, which I thought was extremely lame, how he leaked that guy's phone call or whatever, just to make up competition with the Daily Wire and stuff. And their plan is to go Rumble for their live streams. But he still does have 6 million YouTube subscribers. He has that mug club going. I wonder how Cumia feels. I wonder if Cumia, I highly doubt he would, but I wonder if he would hire Dave Landau back. I wonder why Dave Landau didn't stay. I mean, I'm sure Dave Landau, his ticket sales went through the roof being with Crowder, because he said that he's just not returning to the show and he's just going to work on stand-up. But, like, I don't see many more shows out there for him, especially when you just came from working with Cumia and Crowder. Maybe he goes and backstabs Crowder and goes to Daily Wire. I don't know. But, I mean, first of all, this whole little commercial they're doing, too, with the suits and Callen right there. By the way, right next to Crowder, letting you know he is going to be the co-host. My God, does Brendan Schaub have to screw up everything? I mean, why is your co-host leaving you, Bappa? I know you fired Mark, but incredible. I wonder if he does the podcast still with Sam Tripoli. I would assume he does. Well, see, I don't know about that. You know what? He does do that one because Tripoli is willing to do that podcast, just like over like Zoom and Skype and stuff. So that conspiracy social club will go on. But him doing the fighter and the kid, I doubt that. I bet you he's now going to move to Texas to be available to do the show every day with Crowder. I think he has realized he no longer will have a career in show business. And this might actually get him a little bit closer to Rogan. Because you remember, Rogan's down in Texas. Crowder's down in Texas. So now Callen's going to move down there. He's probably going to be doing Joe Rogan's club a bunch and maybe be on there more. And Bappa gets left just in L.A. with Chris D'Elia and Eric Griffin in a crappy Golden Hour podcast. I wonder, did they bring D'Elia on for the fighter and the kid now? I wonder who's going to be his new co-host. Or does he go cheap and get like a cheap Chappelle Lacey again? I have no idea. But, all right, so Theo Vaughn leaves. Tien leaves. Now Bryan Callen. He fired Mark Harley. Now he's friggin' attacking cars. Damn. The Bappa Empire is imploding. I'm sorry. This is just too funny. I bet you, also, by the way, Schaub had no idea Callen was up for this job. Because I know for a fact Crowder makes you keep your mouth shut. Because Landau, it's not like he told Cumia before he signed that deal with Crowder. He signed the deal and just announced he was leaving. So I guarantee you Callen didn't tell Brendan Schaub he was trying to get a job with Steven Crowder. So I bet you Schaub is angry just by that. I'm betting you Schaub found out when we all found out when they dropped this little commercial thing. I bet you got no heads up or anything. But this is hilarious. Bryan Callen with Steven Crowder and Brendan Schaub left by himself. It's hilarious. And let me know your thoughts in the comments.